Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jesus, your host and expert recruiter. And if you're new here, this is where founders, hiring managers, and HR leaders come to learn, share, and build better teams. So hit that subscribe button. And if you want practical tips on hiring, talent strategy, and all the wild things happening in the tech world, subscribe. All right, so real talk. What do I see the biggest problem across recruiting teams, startups, and even big companies? It's reactive hiring. You know the story. Someone quits, gives her 2 weeks, and now you're scrambling. Suddenly there's a job post up, a calendar full of interviews, and you're duct taping a hiring process together like it's a school project due at midnight. It's chaos and it's preventable. Hiring reactively is like waiting until your car breaks down on the interstate to decide if maybe you should get that oil change. Now all of a sudden you're on the shoulder, it's 95 degrees out, and you're Googling mechanics near me, like your life depends on it. And in recruiting, that mechanic is probably booked out for the next 3 weeks and more than likely costs twice as much. Now, here's what happens when you hire reactively. First, you move too fast and you might end up hiring the wrong person. Secondly, your job descriptions, they might be vague, outdated, and just straight up confusing. Next, your team just gets burnt out and ends up picking up all the slack. And last but not least, candidates they feel the disorganization and will end up losing trust. And so even if you fill the role, you're not locked in with someone who maybe just checked the boxes, but isn't aligned with your goals or your culture. And that's a fast track to attrition and wasted budget. So what's the fix, you might ask? Here's a few ways that I might suggest fixing that and really building a proactive hiring strategy. Number one, first, forecast ahead. Every quarter, look at your roadmap. What roles do you think you might need in the next 3 to 6 months? Build a light talent plan, even if you're not hiring yet. As I mentioned before, don't wait until you have a hiring surge or loss of a critical employee. Start right now and have a framework so that you're prepared. Number two, create a repeatable process. Document your interview steps. Decide who's involved and align on what great looks like. That way, you're not reinventing the wheel every time that you need to make a hire. Now, when you have everyone on the team aligned on this process, it reduces the ambiguity on what's needed and allows your team to react to the moment with efficiency and accuracy. Now, number three, build a talent bench. Talk to great candidates before you need them. Start those conversations right now. Keep a warm list, and if you have the right tools in place and hopefully some automation set up, you can keep those candidates warm. Think of it like dating. You don't want to just swipe right out of panic. And number four, don't do it alone. If you're a founder or a lean HR team, bring in experts when they're needed. Fractional recruiters, hiring consultants, whatever fits your stage. And yeah, that was a shameless plug. It is very likely that you will lose more in time and funding the longer you wait, and if you try to cheap it out and do it on your own. It's like my car analogy earlier. If your engine blew, would you fix that yourself? Probably not. You would hire a mechanic. Same with the recruiting process. If you can't handle the volume or need some extra hands during a surge, bring in the experts needed to get you across the finish line. Now, if there's anything you can take away from this, here's the most important thing to remember. Hiring should be a company-wide mindset, not just an HR problem. This was true when I was at the US Digital Service. Hiring and empowering great people was one of our core values and at the center of how we brought in good people. Everyone on your team should be thinking about who would they want to work with next. When you embed talent thinking into your culture, your hires get better and your people end up staying longer. So if there's anything you can take away from this is, if you've been hiring from a place of panic, trust me, you're not alone. But the shift from reactive to proactive, that's how great companies scale the right way. It's not gonna happen overnight, most likely, but if you start thinking about recruiting from the lens now and make the adjustments to prepare for your critical moments in hiring, then you'll be in a much better position later. And so if this helped, hit that like button, subscribe, drop a comment. What is the biggest hiring challenge you're facing right now? And next week, I'll share some tips for founders and leaner HR teams on how to operate like an army of recruiters and HR operations experts. You're not gonna wanna miss that one. So thanks again. And as always, I'm your host and expert recruiter, Jesus at Vida Talent, where we help small teams make big impact and bring your talent to life.